Hi, fans. I don't know what's going on with my internet. I usually never have a problem, but ever since somehow they did an update on my computer, I can't actually get the internet through my computer. I have to have a separate thing, and it makes my internet very unstable. So I'm at the helm of this. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut down on my lives because of the fact that this is happening. So I'm going to have to do like my longer lives, the weekly run throughs on as they are not live. They're not going to be live anymore. When I do my preview and predictions, depending on if I can go live, I can go live. If I can't, because of scheduling conflict, I will do it that way. If I'm praying that as soon as a pay per view is over, I could go and go live right then and there. So we're just gonna have to like play with YouTube's game and play with this stupid computer's game. So unfortunately, my stream got cut off in the middle of NXT, which I'm going to then now going to um, redo, and then this is the second part. Please be aware that the rest of SmackDown from last week and Raw is live. It's on the channel. Go check it out. I'm starting NXT from the very beginning, and then we're gonna go from there. All right. I'm sorry for this whole thing. This is episode 262, part 2. This is not my fault. It's my stupid computer. It is what it is. Okay, and let's commence. Let's pick up where we left off on part 1. We start off with Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus Nikita Lyons and Zoe Starks for the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Carter and Lyons start off a little bit of mat grappling. Nikita shows off with splits and back rolls away. Nikita rams her into the corner, quick tag, cover, nope. Arm wringer, snapmare, off the ropes, duck a penalty kick. Arm wringer, quick tags, and Chance gets a senton on Timoko, near fall on Stark. Fighting over a suplex, Lyons tags a Canadian backbreaker rack. Champs outsmart her. Katana with a victory roll near fall. Off the ropes, stereo drop kicks. Zoe sends to the floor. Double crossbody to the challengers. Get a double slam and we go to break. Back from commercial. The champions are working Lyons over at some length. Assisted splash, but Stark runs in and breaks it up. Finally, Zoe tags in, hitting Katana hard, throwing her into the turnbuckle, over rotated suplex, looking for a face breaker, but Chance counters to a pin for 2. Take Carter out with a cactus clothesline, skin the cat, back inside, duck a pump kick. Winners, Nikita Lyons, Zoe Starks win the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions by pinfall with a schoolboy pin on Starks on Chance. Post-match, referees talk it out due to a missed tag. The match will restart. Brawling at the bell, Nikita dumped to the floor. Working Starks over. Big near fall. Kaden tags in. Zoe with a German suplex. Lyons in. Splits into the leg drop. Chance breaks it up. Starks to the floor, taking her out. Nikita with a pump kick, body slam reversed. A kick combo from Carter. Tag made. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter win by pinfall with a 450 splash. Neckbreaker combination on Nikita Lyons to retain the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. We get a video package of tonight's match between Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough. We see freshly crowned NXT North American Champion Wesley walking backstage to send us to break. Back from commercial, we get a vignette of T-Bar burning his mask and talking about coming for justice rather than retribution. Wesley makes his entrance and gets on the mic. He says he wanted to come out here and thank everyone for Saturday night. He never thought he'd make it to WWE, let alone be champion, and for damn sure not a singles champion. But the faith and the confidence of everyone in NXT inspired and motivated him, especially when he was lost in the dark. This title gave him a sense of validation he has been searching for his entire life. That he belongs, that there's a place for him, where he is loved for who he is and what he stands for what he is forever grateful. The feelings of standing on a ladder and hearing "you deserve it" chants is indescribable, and all he could do is thank us. He plans to continue excelling in Enter Grayson Waller. He tells Lee to stop sucking up and he doesn't deserve anything, and neither do the fans. He talks about how bad his Saturday was and how much he hates Halloween. He claims that he technically won his match. West climbed a ladder, congratulating Waller. Did that yesterday at Home Depot and didn't get anything. As far as he's concerned, he's still up one on Apollo Crews. Enter R-Truth, dressed as the Joker. He gets on the mic and tells Orlando to make some noise. He welcomes everyone to Halloween Havoc and says it'll be the spookiest night of the year before finally Grayson interrupts and points out that it's not Halloween Havoc. Truth compliments his British accent, and Waller calls him an idiot because he's Australian. Finally, Grayson tells him Halloween Havoc was 3 days ago, which Truth does not believe until Wesley confirms that it did indeed already happen, and Ron celebrates his title win with him. He asks Waller how he did, and Lee points out he lost a casket match to Apollo Crews. Truth puts Apollo over and asks Grayson how was the casket match. Waller says he wants to beat Truth in his own house, but his mind isn't in it. He's going to give him a week to work out what the Grayson Waller effect really is. He tries to attack Truth, and Lee is ready for him and sends him packing. Backstage, Edris Enefi and Malik Blade are warming up. Malik is nervous, and Edris admits he's too. He gives a pep talk about tonight and their night and resolve to win the tag team titles. Quincy Elliott is in the ring. He introduces Shotzi Blackheart, and we go to break. Back from commercial, Apollo Crews is interviewed backstage. He says Grayson Waller is very talented, but also very annoying. He is moving on. His original focus coming back to NXT is winning the NXT Championship. He went off course, but vision is clear now. He's very interested in what Braun Breaker has to say tonight. Lash Legend versus Shotzi Blackheart. Legend throws her around. Blackheart to the apron. Kick to chops her down. Drop toe hold. Blocks Lash with a stomp, and she draws Shotzi up. Float over slam, boot up in the corner, head scissors, hanging over the ropes for as long as she can. Legend blasts her with a boot. Quincy Elliott taunts her when she goes to follow up, and Blackheart takes full advantage of the opening. Back inside, Lash with a scoop slam, cover for a 2, putting Shotzi in a stretch muffler. Standing up, Blackheart with punches, and she fights to the ropes, kicking Legend head into the top rope. Boot up, caught back elbow staggers her. Lash stampedes her into the corner, setting up top, big slap, big right hands, front chancery. Shotzi wins by pinfall with Never Wake Up. We see the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile hanging out in their gym to send us to break. Back from commercial, the Creed brothers make their entrance. Julius gets on the mic, hands battered and bloody. He says he puts his body through hell, but is warned to save his brother. It was worth to save his brother, his career. And now Brutus gets to put a final punctuation mark on Damian Kemp's lesson. Brutus thanks his brother and tells him he loves him, but now it's his turn. Damian Kemp appears on the Tron and says Julius got lucky and he's not medically cleared for the 5 minutes with Brutus, and he'll see him later. Creed says every day he has to wait, his ass whooping is going to get worse and worse and worse because it's Diamond Mine forever. Sangha and Veer Mahan hit the ring and beat up the Creeds. Ivan Naya comes down to check on her boys and gets in the heels' faces to ask them why. Pretty Deadly talk a tag team up, but now Edris Enefi and Malik Blade because they don't stand a chance as we go to break. Back from commercial, we get Toxic Attraction vignette. Gigi Dolan is tanning. JCJ is working out. And Mandy Rhodes is grateful they got out of Halloween Havoc alive, and she still has her title. Rose then tells them they're going to celebrate her championship anniversary next week. Edris Enefi and Malik Blade versus Pretty Deadly for the NXT Tag Team Champions. Blade and Wilson start shotgun dropkick, quick tag to Enefi. Blockbuster sets an elbow drop, but Prince breaks it up. Getting Malik isolated. Elton walloping him with uppercuts. Big back elbowed quick tags, but Blade gets the better of Kit and tags Edris in. Off the top with the double axe handle, front kick, whip reversed, big up and over, schoolboy pin for 2. Challengers with quick tags now, but Prince cuts Malik off and gets him back in the corner. Float over, beating him down in stereo, but Blade gets under and got the blind tag. Enefi and the Blade running hot, sending the champions to the floor. Come back from commercial. Prince with a scoop slam on Enefi and a knee drop to send him to the floor. After. Back in, Elton cuts him down and with a lariat. Wilson tags in, Edris slingshots in, but Kit tags out. Tags to Blade in hot with lariats and axe handles. Big flying elbow. Lariats in the ropes. Malik goes up top, over the ring post, Tope Con Hero. Throwing Prince back inside, diving crossbody, not enough. Assisted Guts Buster gets a deep 2 for the champions trading forearms and then palm strikes for their knees to their feet. Challenges with a deep near fall of their own. Diving knee from Enefi. Shoulder block from Blade. Wilson kicks out. Fireman carry. Enefi knee gives out. Prince with a low bridge and Kit throws Malik into the turnbuckles. Back and forth, sets up a victory roll. Elton Prince kicks out with the barest fraction of a second to spare. Tags into Wilson. Pretty Deadly win by pinfall with spilt milk on Malik Blade to retain the NXT Tag Team Champions. We get JD McDonald vignette where he talks about having necessary evil inside of him that others shy away from. And so we go to break. Back from commercial, we get a bumper for WWE NXT work with the Boys and Girls Club of America. Zoe Starks is interviewed backstage. She says she had the tag team titles in the palm of her hands, and it was just taken away from her. Kaden and Katana are the 2 luckiest women in the WWE right now. Nikita Lyons rolls up apologizing, and Zoe tries to assure her before getting angry that she didn't see the tag and focused on rematch they have, saying they're going to win the tag titles this time around. The Schism make their entrance, ready to unmask their mystery partner. Joe Gacy gets on the mic. He says, "Pride and arrogance are commonplace in WWE and reflect on the strength that comes from their humble unity." He says these three understand that togetherness is in the greatest accomplishment, and their mission statement is clear. Remove your mask and join the schism to be torn down. Rick Fowler takes his mask off and says NXT is a den of selfishness and greed, envious of others' good fortune, and fans and superstars alike put themselves before the greater good of their unity. And we simply reflect our own shortcomings when we speak out against them. Jagger Reed takes his mask off and says, "Wrath of manipulative state, and to be truly healthy, you must learn to control it correctively. Anger divides, but love binds, and the schism only grows stronger as a unity." Back to Gacy, he says, "There are people in this world who have everything they could have ever want, who are empty and depleted on the inside. And the dyad learns the path to everlasting unity from showing their true selves. And the time has come to take the next step. The time has come to reveal your true self, and there's no going back." Our masked woman takes her hoodie and her mask off and says the love and acceptance of the schism has given her her defies and preconceived notions of who she's supposed to be. This is family completes her, and she is Ava Rain. What the fucking do? Sol Ruka is interviewed backstage. She's nervous about her match against Indy Hartwell, but she's going to. Indy rolls up and says, "Doing tricks to wow the audience only takes her so far in NXT. It's all about winning, and it's all about learning right now." Hartwell takes her entrance, and we go to break. Back from commercial, we get a recording of a cryptic, distorted phone call from the desk at the Performance Center. This person says they'll tear NXT apart and refers to themselves as scripts. I'm just sending this out there, JD. You're the only one that has scripts in the freaking show's name. I don't know. I'm putting two to two together. Indy Hartwell versus Sol Ruka. Hartwell with a couple of slams, whip reverse, drop down, leapfrog, matrix evasion. Ruka with a scoop and a slam, another to cover. Another slam cover two. Indy overwhelms with strikes. Indy Hartwell wins by pinfall with northern forearm. Post-match, Elektra Lopez hits the ring and attacks both women, laying Sol out with a short powerbomb. She gets in the camera saying she's back and she's coming for everybody. We get Chase U vignette. Bodie Hayward is missing, and Duke Hudson is late, saying that he was looking for Bodie. He literally shines an apple and gives it to Andre Chase. He gives Thea Hill his pen and says he's going to take notes in his head, which gets Andre dandered up. Duke steals a pen from a classmate on his other side and takes notes on Chase's lecture on the history of holiday traditions in pro wrestling. Ilya Dragunov makes his entrance and sends us to break. Back from commercial, we get a graphic for the NXT deadline. We get a recap: Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade. Edris Enofé and Malik Blade are bummed about losing when a party truck rolls up to take them off and have a little fun. Commentary hypes up next week's show. Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough. Dragunov cuts McDonough off with a slam during his entrance. The bell sounds, German suplex, JD throw back elbows, but Ilya drags to a cradle grip. Bridge, no, big chops in the corner, pump kick, connects, falling elbows to the back of the neck. McDonald fires elbows of his own, back before targeting Dragunov's injured ribs. Whip across, knee lift, and again Ilya with a heavy chops. Tiger feint, and his ribs catch on the on the ropes, opening the door for JD. Fighting over suplex in the ropes, McDonald snaps his neck over the top. Shoulder block, Dragunov flying rib first into the announce desk. Referee Daryl Schwarmer checking on Ilya, calling medics over as he gasps for air as we go to break. Back from commercial, McDonald suplexes Dragunov ribs first on the top rope. Backbreaker follows cover for a two and knees to the ribs. Waist lock takedown. Back on their feet. Trading forearms with with abdomen. Ilya with chops on chops, but his back gives out on a German suplex attempt. Itsugiri takes JD and Dragunov shakes himself back into it. Running knee in the corner, diving knee drop off the top, but strained on his ribs too much. McDonald moves him into position. Up top, but Ilya cuts him off, jockeying for position into the turnbuckles. The unsheathed bar, suplex, falling forearms, job clobbers JD, backing off to set him up, his ribs screaming in agony. Stealing himself. Dragunov charges, but McDonald catches him in a grounded cobra twist, fighting with every breath in his body. Dragunov fades, bleeding from the mouth. JD wins by referee stoppage. The referee has to physically pull JD off after the match. Ilya stretches out, and that's the show. That's the show. We're going to go all to AEW, and then I'm going to get you out of here. Rampage from last week. AEW World Tag Team Champion match. The Acclaim, Anthony Bowens and Matt Caster versus the Varsity Athletes, Josh Woods and Tony Nese, with Smart Mark Sterling. The Acclaim if the Acclaim win, they regain their trademark from Sterling. The Acclaim used tandem offense on Josh Woods. Platinum Matt Caster backdropped Woods. The Varsity Athletes called to eject Billy Gunn after he entered the ring, and the ref agreed, and they had Billy removed. Bowens tagged in cleaned house on the Varsity Athletes. Bowens' leg dropped Nese across the back of the head for a near fall. Woods ran in and manhandled Bowens. Woods closed the distance with a running forearm. The Varsity Athletes used their finisher on Bowens, but Caster jumped into making the save for his partner. Caster got clocked by Nese with a thrust kick. Bowens fired back with a knee strike to Nese. Bowens planted Nese with the arrival, and Caster finishes off Nese with a mic drop. Caster pinned Nese. Sterling tried to walk out, but Billy Gunn stopped him and forced him back into the ring. Bowens hit Scissor Me Timber on Sterling. TBS champion Jade Cargill vowed to reclaim her property during an interview with Tony Schiavone. A deal was broken by Gray. Could take Penelope Ford's place in a match tonight. Ford has been injured. I have given you Layla tonight. I want my belt back tonight, said Cargill. Alex Marvez is backstage with Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and the Lucha Brothers. Ortiz said that they were all worried that Kingston was losing his composure too much. Pac walked in onto the scene and said Kingston should have listened to them. Kingston was upset with Pac's words. FTW champion Hook versus Trustbuster Ari Daivari. Ari, hold on. Maybe you're not a check guy and don't have a bank account. I'll give you one last chance to take this money. Hook slapped the catch out of Ari's hand. They brawled outside the ring. Ari stomped Hook while they were in the corner and hit Hook with a massive chop. Hook fought back with body punches. Hook followed up with fisherman suplex. Ari rolled up Hook for a near fall. Hook wasted no time and made Davari quick after placing him in the red rum submission hold. Hook then put Jeeves to sleep with the red rum. Layla Gray versus Willow Nightingale. Willow grabbed Gray to the mat. Willow walloped Gray with short arm clothesline. She scooped up Layla and slammed her. Kira grabbed Willow's ankle from the ring apron. Willow confronted her on the arena floor. Kira blasted Willow with a thrust kick. Willow rallied back and splashed Layla in the corner turnbuckle. Willow planted Gray with a spinebuster for a near fall. Willow hit Layla with a high roundhouse kick. She finished off Layla with a doctor bomb and then pinned her. Tony Schiavone entered the ring and announced that Willow officially is all elite. TBS champion Jade Cargill came down to the ring with a steel chair in hand. She sat down with a microphone. Jade, Nyla, since I'm a classy woman, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to bring back my belt. Nyla was showed on big screen with Vicky and Marina. Nyla had Jade's belt and asked if she was looking for it. Then Nyla drove away in Jade's car. Main event time, All Atlantic Championship match. Orange Cassidy versus Dark Order 10 with negative 1 versus LFI Roosh with Jose the assistant. Roosh brings a lot to the table, said Shivani. Yeah, a former 2-time Ring of Honor world champion, replied Excalibur. 10 and Roosh slugged it out while Orange watched on. Roosh blindsided 10 with an elbow strike. Orange drop kicked Roosh and then drove 10 into the barricade with a tope. Roosh headbutted Orange as Orange jumped off the top turnbuckle. Roosh whipped 10 in with a cable outside the ring. Roosh started to choke Orange with the cable. 10 clocked Roosh with a series of clotheslines. They brawled outside the ring. Orange tried for a tope, but 10 and Roosh caught Orange and countered by spiking him on the timekeeper's table. 10 speared Roosh. Orange went for the orange punch, but 10 blocked it. Orange fought back with a stun dog millionaire on 10. Orange blasted 10 with a beach break. Jose, the assistant, jumped into the ring until Danhausen came in to even up the odds. Roosh nailed Orange with a belly-to-belly suplex on into the turnbuckle. 10 rocked Roosh with a spinebuster. Roosh tore at 10's mask and turned around so 10 was blind. Orange came back in and pinned 10 after countering a sunset flip. I have breaking news. Hold on. We have 2 signees for AEW, and we will find out in a minute. We have both Juice Robinson and Bandino have signed AEW agreements, and they are all elite. Welcome to the team. Dynamite. They are coming from the Chartway Center in Norfolk, Virginia. We start out with Ring of Honor champion Chris Jericho and Pure champion Daniel Garcia versus Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. Jericho Appreciation Society members Matt Menard, Jake Hager, and Angelo Parker came to the ring with Jericho and Garcia. Regal was on commentary. Jericho flipped Claudio, and Claudio answered with a European uppercuts. Garcia ran in, and Claudio stopped him with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Yuta tagged in, and he and Claudio clocked Garcia with a double boot to the face. Garcia headbutt Yuta, a tactic he used to slow down Yuta's offense. Hager and Menard pulled Jericho and Garcia out of the ring, trying to give their teammates a breather. But Claudio and Yuta waste no time to bring the fight back to Jericho and Garcia to keep the momentum on track. Hager distracted Claudio, which allowed enough time for Jericho to sneak up with a dropkick off the turnbuckles to Claudio. Yuta hoisted up Jericho and planted him for a near fall. Jericho got spiked after Claudio helped Yuta complete a DDT. Jericho counted Claudio with a code breaker for a near fall, but Yuta broke up the pin attempt. Jericho grabbed his baseball bat, but Claudio powerbombed him, which caused Jericho to drop the bat. Claudio used a big swing on Jericho with Garcia on his back. Claudio wiped out Hager with his senton. That's why I call him the ultimate competitor, said Regal. Claudio planted Jericho with a neutralizer and pinned Jericho. You could sense the momentum build up. Claudio thought that the whole thing, throughout the whole thing, said Taz. Renee Paquette was at Mongo position backstage with Bryan Danielson. Danielson, I'm going to take all my frustrations out on Sammy tonight. Wheeler Yuta approaches Danielson. Yuta, I am not your son. I'm a grown man. Danielson slapped Yuta. Claudio and Regal separated the two of them. Claudio insisted after Danielson's match, Danielson and Yuta will sit down and talk this out like adults. The Jericho Appreciation Society was backstage. Jericho was fired up and blamed Claudio for bringing the bat into the ring during their match. Jericho issued an open challenge next week to any former ROH champion. AEW World Tag Team Champions number 1 contenders match. FTR versus Swerve in Our Glory. Austin and Colt Gunn were sitting front row mocking FTR. AEW World Tag Team Champions, The Acclaim, came out and sat on the stage scouting the match. Keith Lee wiped out both members of the opposition. Cash tried to get a tag, but Keith shoved him back into the turnbuckles. Swerve tagged in, but Cash was able to reach Dax for the tag. Dax chopped away at Swerve. Keith Lee got into the fray, but Dax chopped at him too. Hardwood hit a high German suplex on Swerve. Cash and Dax hit tandem offense on Swerve as Keith Lee was recovering outside the ring. Cash caught Swerve underneath the chin with an uppercut. Swerve made the tag to Keith Lee, and they double team Cash with an assistant powerbomb for a near fall. Swerve was looking for the stomp, but Dax countered with a slingshot. Powerbomb. Keith Lee pounced Dax and then headbutted Cash for a near fall. The fans chanted, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome." Cash superplexed Keith Lee, then Dax splashed off the top rope for a near fall. FTR smashed Keith Lee with a big rig, but Swerve pulled Dax out of the ring by his feet. What an assist, said Taz. Swerve hit Dax with a low blow while the ref had his attention turned. The Guns held back Cash while Keith Lee finished off Dax Hardwood and pinned Dax. The Acclaim sprinted down to even up the odds for FTR. The Guns retreated. Renee Paquette was backstage with Saraya. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, interrupted Saraya until Renee told Baker and Saraya to stop arguing. Renee Paquette was on the ramp to interview MJF. Oh, Bessie, this is going to be good. Cut my music. I got it from here, Renee. Ladies and gentlemen, the devil has arrived in Virginia. We got any devil worshippers in the house today? And this is from the Bible Belt. Okie dokie. Renee, should Jon Moxley retain tonight? You'll be facing him at Full Gear. How do you feel about that? MJF, Listen, Renee, with all due respect, I do mean with all due respect. When I think of Jonathan, only one word comes to mind: mid. Last week, when I said I was going to earn it, I meant what I said. I may have gotten carried away. I said I was going to wrestle the whole thing clean. I mean, come on, I'm still MJF. When Regal said he used his knuckles because he wanted to, not because he wanted to, alluring to my dynamite diamond ring. So I promised I will not use my dynamite diamond ring at Full Gear because I don't need it. I only need a grudge, and I'm chock full of them. A little bit of Roddy Piper, you know. And I come to November 19th. I ain't fighting Regal. I ain't fighting Moxley. I am fighting Penta. I am fighting every single scumbag who said I wasn't good enough. I'm going to take the chip on my shoulder and shove it down each and every one of their throats when I become AEW World Champion. Stokely Hathaway interrupts MJF. Max, I get it. You want Mox 100% at Full Gear, and we won't lay a hand on him. MJF hit the microphone out of Hathaway's hand. MJF, if Moxley gets past Pentagon tonight, I need him at 110% at Full Gear. You don't look at him or touch him or you're fired. So he already told him what he was going to do, okay? The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson versus the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara, with his wife Tay-Melo. Sammy went right after Bryan Danielson. Sammy hit a springboard cutter for a near fall. Wow, Sammy going right to the big stuff immediately, said Taz. Sammy tried a drop kick, but Danielson countered and then put Sammy in a Romero special. Danielson dove his knee into Sammy's back. He followed up with uppercuts to Sammy. He's perfect wrestler, Bryan Danielson, said Regal. Danielson blasted Sammy with kicks and then knocked him down with an European uppercut. Danielson grounded, pounded Sammy with palm strikes. Sammy rolled to the outside. Danielson jumped off the apron, but Sammy countered with a rising knee strike. Back in the ring, Sammy walloped Bryan with roundhouse kicks, but they only fired up Danielson. Danielson turned Sammy inside out with an elbow strike. Danielson backdropped Sammy to the outside of the ring and then went airborne with Tope Suicida. Danielson blasted Sammy with a shotgun drop kick. Sammy came back with a standing Spanish fly. Sammy climbed to the top turnbuckle, but Sammy shoved him. Danielson tried for a suplex off the turnbuckles, but Sammy landed on his feet. Bryan countered a standing moonsault from Sammy with the label lock. Sammy reached the ropes with his feet, forcing the break. Danielson climbed to the top rope, but Sammy jumped up there and sent Bryan crashing with a Spanish fly. Sammy bit down on Bryan's forehead. Sammy tried the GTH, but Bryan blocked it and countered with a reverse hurricanrana. Bryan charged at Sammy with a running knee strike. Bryan grabbed Sammy's wrist and then stomped him. Bryan applied the triangle to Sammy, and the ref stopped the match. Sammy goes out, said Excalibur. Renee Paquette was backstage with Ray Phoenix and Alex Abrahantes. Ray, tonight, my brother will be a double champion. Penta and any member of the Death Triangle could be a double champion. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus interrupted. Christian Cage said Luchasaurus deserves a shot at the All-Atlantic Championship ahead of anyone else. Orange Cassidy came onto the scene next week. Let's do it. Paquette sounds like we have a match. Rio versus Jamie Hayter. Hayter shoulder tackles Rio. Running her right over. Rio bridged up, but Baker grabbed Rio's boot. Rio low bridged Jamie and then jumped off the top turnbuckle, coming down with a crossbody press to Jamie on the floor. Back in the ring, Hayter hit a snap suplex on Rio. Hayter hit Rio with elbows, but Rio used a Northern Lights suplex. Hayter smashed Rio with a brainbuster for a near fall. Baker grabbed Rio's boot for a Rebel, as Rebel had the referee's attention. Hayter popped up Rio, but Rio countered with a code red for a 2 count. Hayter cracked Rio with a backbreaker. Rio answered with a dragon suplex for a near fall. Hayter's booted Rio with a big kick and then blasted Rio with the ripcord lariat to pin her. After the match, AEW Interim World Champion Toni Storm came out and stood on top of the stage, holding her belt up high. Renee Paquette interviewed Eddie Kingston. Eddie said people need to leave him alone because he's fine. Main event time. AEW World Championship match. Jon Moxley versus Penta El Zero Miedo. Mox and Penta El Zero Miedo traded chops and then forearms in the center of the ring. Moxley's Death Rider was blocked by Penta. Moxley tried for the King Kong Lariat, but Penta ducked it. Penta rocked Mox with a thrust kick. Penta flipped over the top rope and landed on Moxley on the arena floor. Moxley is hurting right now, said Taz. Penta charged at Mox, but Mox countered with a release overhead suplex onto the turnbuckles. Penta fired back with Sling Blade on Moxley for a near fall. Moxley hit a cutter on Penta and then stuffed a pile driver for a near fall. Moxley dropped the hammer and anvil and elbows on Penta El Zero Miedo. Moxley got caught by Penta, who sat back trying to tear Moxley's shoulder out of the socket. Moxley DDT Penta on the edge of the steel ring steps. Moxley cracked Penta with the King Kong Lariat for a 2 count. Penta rallied back with diving foot stomp and then feared factor Moxley for a near fall. I don't know how Mox kicked out of that, said Taz. Penta jumped off the ropes with a springboard, but Moxley was there with the Paragon Shift and then a Death Rider DDT. 2 were enough for Moxley to pin Penta. W. Morrissey, the Firm, hit the ring after the match. They ambushed Moxley. Backstage, the Blackpool Combat Club had been locked in their dressing room. Moxley tried to fight back, but numbers were too great. A conflict. MJF walked onto the ramp. What is he going to do here? Asked Taz. MJF ran to the ring, shoved Firm away from Moxley. MJF fired Stokely and the Firm. When MJF turned around, Ethan Page nailed MJF with a kick. The Firm took their revenge out on MJF for being fired. Ethan Page sent MJF crashing to the mat with Ego's Edge. What a statement by the Firm here tonight, said Excalibur. They're tossing around MJF like he's garbage, replied Taz. W. Morrissey chokeslammed MJF through the timekeeper's table. Neither the champion nor the challenger will walk into full gear at 100%. So they are going to be in Connecticut for tonight, of course, Long Island Sound. So we got breaking news as of right now. Juice Robinson and Bandito are all elite. So Toni Storm has her boo in AEW. So again, if you want to go check out the part 1, it's alive. This is part 2, and I apologize for this. Hopefully that this won't happen again. This is why I go very quickly. So I want everybody to have a great weekend. Please check out harrys.com. Check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. And tomorrow night, if you're lucky, you could see Exodus from HOG Wrestling. And if you could still get tickets, check their website at hogwrestling.net. Please go check out in the greater Pennsylvania area, Sanctuary and Outbreak Wrestling. And please just have a great weekend. Just have a great weekend. We're going to be hopefully back at it live for episode 263. And hopefully that will be okie dokie. I will see you next week, as I said, and it'll be at 2 o'clock p.m. Sorry for this holdup. My schedule got conflicted, and I will be releasing the preview and prediction for Crown Jewel at 8 p.m. next Saturday. So have a great weekend, and I love you. Please check out part 1, and also please go find me on my social media, which is Mel's Match Hat on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you can check me out on Facebook and Snapchat. All right. Have a great evening. I love you all. Let's get ready to watch SmackDown. Have a good evening. Bye bye.